and Nazi. And therefore, let me make this, and therefore, you can kill Trump supporters and Trump because they're equated, they're equal to Hitler and a Nazi.
You don't Google? You don't Google?
No, you don't know that January 6th was a federal entrapment, that they were fed. You don't.
Oh my God.
What do you say? Oh my God, Chip Roy talked about.
Yo, welcome back to Reggie Red's Reactions, man. You already know what it is. It's your boy Reggie Red, and we back with another banger, another part 2 of my series, Exposing Black Maggots. Now we got these three black conservatives, women, versus 4 liberal white women. And they all older, so you're gonna get that older perspective. But let's just check it out and let's see what they talking about. Alright, cool. And if you like this video by the end, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And hit that alert bell too, so you know when I'm dropping another video. Let's jump into it.
So when we look at the fact that, do I feel that the calling people Nazi and calling people Hitler, for those of us who grew up watching Anne Frank, reading the books, going to some of these places, you're like, well, you know, he may be many things, but he ain't Hitler. You know, he may be many things, but it's not, and it's a name calling. But I do hear it on the right as well. And I hear it more than what I would like to hear it. And I think that in the insensitivity can be considered a nonverbal way of being just as much.
I think there's a stark difference. There's a stark difference. There's a dramatic difference. The left calls Trump and his supporters Nazis, Hitler, fascists. They don't even know what fascism is.
Just please let you interrupt her.
Bruh. This lady, she been doing this all damn day since I've been watching this. This like the middle of it. But she jump on a Trump train so quick. Like, who you think came out saying that shit? It's whole videos of Trump calling Kamala Marxist, fascist, communist. Like, they call Democrats democrats. Like, what are y'all talking about, man?
Like every time, please just let her finish
I didn't
her
mean
point.
that. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So anyway, there's a stark difference to me. Why? Let me tell you. Nazi, Hitler, fascist. You know, the guy who allegedly shot Charlie Kirk wrote on his bullet, fascist.
Yeah.
Trump supporters never say, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, you're a Hitler. The question is, let me ask you a question.
Never say never. Like, never say never. And that's the problem with these people, bruh. Because they'll say shit in the absolute terms, like you've been in every message board, like nobody just never said. Like, dawg, they made up the name calling. Trump started name calling. Politicians weren't doing shit like this.
Do you believe it would be justifiable if someone killed Hitler or a Nazi? Is that justifiable?
Well, there were several plots against him by his own people.
Was that justifiable?
To save, they could have done it earlier and saved millions of people, yes.
Exactly. Do you believe it's justifiable to kill Hitler or a Nazi? And you equate Trump supporters and Trump with Hitler and...
But see, in hindsight, you can say that now. But you couldn't say that before he had actually done anything. But with Trump, history repeats itself. We see where the fuck it's headed. We see where it's headed. So if motherfuckers call him Nazi, fascist, Hitler, they're not way off. Like, wake the fuck up, lady.
And Nazi. And therefore, let me make this, and therefore, you can kill Trump supporters and Trump because they're equated, they're equal to Hitler and a Nazi.
Okay, please, let me do this one. How many Democrats have gone out mass shooting. How many Democrats have made assassination attempts on presidents or anybody else? The vast majority of them, frankly, are white Republican men.
I don't think that's accurate.
no.
And
That's
Oh,
not
that's-
accurate.
that's-
That's
that's
not accurate. You
accurate.
can't.
Yes, the data
no,
is there for that.
Where do
And,
you get that information?
Yeah, I'd love to know.
from history,
From history?
from history.
That the majority of homicides are committed by
I didn't
Well,
say
she said mass
homicides.
shooters.
I said
mass
mass
shoo-
shooters.
Oh, mass
Republican,
shooters?
I said
well,
mass
now
shoo-
we have a new phenomenon, right? Trans shooter, transsexuals, transgenders who are committing mass shootings.
That is
disproportionate-
not happening. That
Are
is
you guys
not
alive?
happening.
Okay. All right. Can I just say,
hello?
what about January 6th?
Oh, what
They
do you
came
know?
back up. It wasn't just political violence.
But you
It's
don't
like
know
he-
that January. See, this is the thing. This is the problem. You don't get the same information we get. You don't
What,
get the
you
same.
don't Google? You don't Google?
No, you don't know that. You don't know that January 6th was a federal entrapment. That they were fed. You don't.
Oh my God.
What do you say? Oh my God, Chip Roy talked about that. Chip Roy is with.
Chip Roy
Oh,
is
you
your
don't
reference?
like Chip Roy? You think he's illegitimate? He's a liar? You think?
May I just ask
Why don't you respect Chip Roy?
May I just ask
Why
you
don't
one-
you respect Chip Roy?
Because he does not care about the facts. But may I address one thing? You've said several times that we're not getting the information.
We get different information.
We get different information.
Yeah.
Why do you think yours is right and ours is
Well,
wrong?
because I've lived in Black America. I've lived in my neighborhood, and I see no longer Black construction workers. I see all the construction workers are Hispanic. Where did Black men go who were construction workers back in the day? They no longer exist. You don't live in my neighborhood. You don't see that. I live in my neighborhood, and I see that every guy that comes to work on a person's house in Lamert Park, where I live, is a Hispanic. Where did Black men go? Where did they go working jobs?
They went, hopefully, to better jobs, better
You
paying
don't know
jobs.
that, though.
No,
You don't-
neither do you.
You don't know that. Yes, I
Neither-
do. Yes,
where
I
did
do.
they? Well, where
Because
did
you
they
know
go?
why I know? Because I know the data, and I know that Black Americans have been voting for the Democratic Party for the last few decades since the '60s, and we are facing zero median wealth by 2053. I know that Black American families were two-parent households. A traditional family in the 1930s was 87%. In the 1960s, we went down to 65% when LBJ delivered his speech at Howard University. We are now at 25 to 30% two-parent households.
not true.
None
I
of the
wouldn't say-
politicians have the interests of America and Americans. That's why That's why we voted for Trump, a non-establishment politician. These politicians have been taking advantage of the American people, milking us dry for decades, probably since World War II. After World War II, if you read all the information that's out on this stuff, actually, in 1917, when Woodrow Wilson made experts the administrative state, the fourth estate, violating the Constitution, that's when all the problems started with the administrative state and all this stuff. Yeah. Okay, so that they.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice Trump supporters are acting exactly like Trump. Like they lie, they gaslight, they say the exact same things that he do. Like earlier, she said the 2020 election was stolen. But then you want to keep talking about data. Okay, well, the data says Trump took that shit to court I don't know how many times and lost. That's your data. So what are you talking about? And see, that's that delusion shit, and she want to keep trying to make it seem like these white liberal ladies are wrong. See, that's the problem. You listening to legacy media, well, you listening to Fox News. Obviously. Because you saying the same shit that they saying. Like, motherfuckers got to get out of their bubbles, man. I kind of wish they did this with like a younger crowd too, like mixed in, so you can see the intergenerational shit. But this is eye-opening, man. Let's see what else they got to say.
Shape that narrative. It's not about free speech. What that was about, that Jimmy Kimmel has had low ratings for a long time, for years. In fact, 60% of his audience, because conservatives listen to late night television. We used to listen to Johnny Carson. It was not political. 60% of his audience had disappeared, and the affiliates in the Midwest had gone away from Jimmy Kimmel, right? So he was
No,
losing.
I think we need to. I think we need to just keep it really simple. I think what it boils down to is one, litigious lack of responsibility. People don't want to be sued, and the media, left and right, forward or backwards, it's like a chessboard, and they're using it to pit us against each other. They will present this, they'll present that, this side says this side says that, and we're constantly pitting each other. I think that the speech should be protected. And when you're at that level of a Jimmy Kimmel, people don't want to be sued, somebody doesn't want to like something, they got low ratings. It's all a part of the game.
It is a game, but I may have a very unique perspective here because I am a far left-wing liberal who worked for Fox for over 20 years. And first of all, with that perspective in mind, we were talking earlier about inclusion, and hate speech is divisive. What I am seeing now is that the administration is making divisiveness, name-calling, them and us, acceptable. You're right. Back in the 60s, we were people, we were individuals. We are now being separated more into groups than at any time since before World War II.
But we can't blame that on one person. We all have a responsibility. See, freedom of speech does not mean lack of responsibility.
Agreed.
There's a consequence.
But the Democratic Party started this identity politics. They put us all in boxes. The black person, the Hispanic, even you said black and brown people. Why would you lump together black and brown people? The gays, every group, Asians, Hispanics, they did that in the media. They put us all in boxes as opposed to we're Americans. We're all Americans and we should be for America.
We are.
No, you're not.
Oh, we definitely are.
We are.
The Democratic
in
Party
different ways.
destroyed
And
black.
kind of like what we were saying earlier, and I feel like piggybacking a little bit on what you were saying with Jimmy Kimmel, it wasn't just that they didn't like his speech, it was about him blaming MAGA and saying that the shooter was from MAGA, and it was not correct information, and that was part of it. Let me finish. But what I'm saying is also with media, I thank God for the internet, because it used to be we had to watch TV to know what's going on. And so nowadays we have at our fingertips, we can be like, what just happened? Who said what?
Right.
And that's why, like, for me, I'm very adamant, and I'm sorry for being so emotional about it, because like today I already feel heavy with the whole memorial thing. However anybody feels about it, it's a guy, he has.
And you would think that having information right there at our fingertips, that these debates shouldn't even be going on this long. Like, the information is right there. All you gotta do is look for it. Y'all let Trump tell y'all these lies. All you gotta do is look it up right there on the spot. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, nah, see, Trump, you lying, bro. And that's every time he breathing. Him and Caroline Levitt. They both do it. All right, last clip, man. Let's see what they do.
Because I was Democrat before for years, right? So I know, in fact, I even worked in media. I worked for Court TV. I've worked in a lot of media. I can't even remember off the top of my head, but we got all our information from the media. The media is an arm of the Democratic Party.
Not Fox.
Except one.
I'll tell you that, not
just
Fox.
not
We got our
but the
one little
rest of it
channel.
is. The legacy media is an arm of the narratives that they feed us is all the establishment narrative. And the establishment narrative is not the interest of the American people. That's why we like MAGA, put America first. So the fact that I was a Democrat before, I know in fact, I went to liberal schools. I went to UCLA, I went to UC Berkeley. I worked in all liberal places in Los Angeles and everywhere. I know what the liberal position is. You've never heard how Black Americans feel about conservative values. You've never known that Black Americans were competing for jobs being taken by illegal aliens and
But going back to what the prompt was, when we're looking at hate speech, just because we can doesn't mean we should. We should all have a responsibility for what we say. Agreed. Just because I think your outfit is pretty and she thinks it's crazy doesn't give her the right to say, well, I think no. Let me think about someone else first. And so we freedom of speech does not hate speech should be protected. But with that speech, you have to consider that, how might this affect someone?
They've already said that it's
How might this
justifiable.
affect-
They already said it's justifiable to kill Hitler and
We
Nazis.
did not say
No,
that.
She did say that.
no.
She did say
No,
that.
I'm just
so
saying,
if
but
you
we
say it's
didn't- the three-
justifiable,
the
if
three
you say it's
blondes didn't say
justifiable,
it.
if you say it's justifiable to kill Hitler and Nazis, this issue is not even an issue. If you say it's justifiable to kill Hitler and Nazis, and you call Trump supporters Hitler and Nazis, it's justifiable to kill Trump and Trump supporters. That's
Bruh, this lady in the green about to piss me off, boy. Because fucking with Trump got her all discombobulated. Now she ain't saying nothing about his hateful ass rhetoric. He stood up in front of everybody and said, fuck that, I hate my enemies. I don't wish them well. But yet, he wished Ghislaine Maxwell well. He wished her well. A known pedophile. And now you thinking about pardoning her. See that's what I'm saying. They don't get into the nuance of their own position. They make up their mind and then they look into the other side and be like, all right, you doing this wrong, you doing this wrong, you doing this wrong. But they don't never look at their own position and do that. Like criticize yourself. That's how you grow. Because if motherfucker did that, nobody would be supporting Trump. To be honest, dude is a fucking fraud, man. And he got a lot of people fooled like a motherfucker. I don't think the two ladies that was on the right, but the lady in the green, yeah, he got her. He got her. And that's why I'm making this series, exposing black maggots. Cause you gotta call them out for they bullshit, man. But yeah, that's it for that one, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll be back later with some more videos. Peace.